Gary Payton and the Seattle Supersonics.
Sorry, Jay Peter with the Seattle Mariners and Jermaine Kearse.
Cliff Averill.
This is Nate Burleson. You're watching NorbCam.
NorbCam.
You're watching Norb.
What's up, guys? This is NorbCam coming at you. It's been a while. Been very busy with my kids' volleyball tournament season, which is a lot of the reason why I haven't had a lot of spare time to do videos. But it has been a very interesting off-season for the Seahawks, to say the least. The latest controversy being what I have in the title here, which is the Seahawks and the Russell Wilson contract situation. And I've been saying this since last year that obviously it's going to be, I knew that come this year, this is going to be the big topic of discussion, whether, the Seahawks would get the contract extension done prior to the season so we can avoid this whole type of speculation, or would this thing drag out and possibly become one of those kind of year-to-year kind of things that, I don't know, that could be a bit of a distraction, especially when we're dealing with a player of this caliber in Russell Wilson. And look at you guys. Wow, you guys jumped on quick. Anthony Henry, no videos, Midnight TH3FT, Tyler, what's up? Self-promoting police, CPDX fan, Eli Ezekiel, Joshua the Gamer, Justin Barang, Anthony D, Kathleen Burgess. I invite you guys to continue to blow up the chat, which I see you have no hesitation in doing. It's going pretty fast, too, because I turned off the slow chat mode, I think, so that you guys can type as fast as you want. But I want to take some of your calls, and really this is a chance where I expressed my thoughts on this, my thoughts on Russell Wilson and the situation in a previous video. The latest since then is that Russell Wilson has given the Seahawks April 15th to come up with a contract extension offer that they can agree on. After that, basically, he's going to shut down negotiations, and there will be no more contract discussions until after the season, which means that at that point, most likely then, we would be in a situation where if the Seahawks want to keep Russell Wilson, they'll have to franchise tag him, and that would make him still one of the most expensive players out on the market based on the average salary of, I think, what is it, the top 5 salaries in that position. Essentially becoming kind of like the Kirk Cousins route with the Washington Redskins before he eventually, I think he got franchise tagged a couple of times, and then eventually the Minnesota Vikings backed the bank truck up and paid him a $84 million fully guaranteed contract. And I said on the record myself, I think the Seahawks should pay Russell Wilson. They should take care of him and have him do what it takes to keep him here in Seattle, get the extension done early so that we don't have to deal with the distraction and all that. That's my feeling. But I know there's a lot of people who have different thoughts out there. I want to kind of see what you guys think. Especially, I want to hear both sides, but not just yes or no, but I want to hear the reasons why. And I know the both sides of the coin, as obviously the more you pay one player, the less you have to go around. Yet a player of Russell Wilson's caliber doesn't come around every year. And when you get your hands on a quarterback of that nature, a franchise quarterback who's not only a great player, but never gets injured, never distraction, such a positive attribute to the community, all those things, really what more could you ask for? He's won a Super Bowl, been to 2, should have won 2. And been to the playoffs practically every season that he's played, with the exception of one. Hard to argue the value there. So I see Ancient Hawk 48 supporting the chat in the little contribution there. What do I think of Bennett going to the Patriots? Well, this is a business, and so everybody's entitled to go wherever someone will pay for their services. Do I like it? I don't like anybody of the Seahawks playing for the Patriots, but the reality is I'm good for them. But when time comes when I need my team to be on top or to win, if we go face to face, you sure I'm going to be we'll be rooting against them. But as far as for their own career, good for him. You know what I mean? So Kathleen Burgess is asking, how can I call? Well, the information is right there on the screen. You just dial 515-739-1219. Wait for the prompt to ask to punch in the code, and then you just do so. That number is 696-153. And once you do, you will be able to, I'll see your number on there, and I'll be able to put you in. So it's that simple. All right? I see Elena's in the chat. Yes, Norb, we got to keep Russell. I think you and I are in lockstep. I'm curious to see of all the people out there listening tonight, what you guys think about it and your argument for or against paying Russell Wilson. I've got one caller on the line right now. Waiting for more, so let's bring him on from the 253. Let's see if we can make this work. Here we go. Let's try this out. Here we go. All right. What's up? You're on with NorbCam. Who's this?
It's Lucas.
Lucas. All right, Lucas. Where are you calling from?
Louisiana.
Louisiana. All right, long ways away. Are you a Seahawks fan?
No, I'm a Packers fan.
A Packers. All right, a Packers fan who lives in Louisiana and calling on a Seahawks show. I love it. Well, tell me, obviously this program caught your eye. What's your thought here? What did you want to weigh in on this particular issue?
I think they should give him a contract extension. I think they should pay him. But in my personal opinion, no, he should not be the highest paid player in the NFL.
Okay. So you think they should keep him, but he shouldn't be the highest paid player. Well, the problem is, well, we don't know the problem for sure, but from what I hear, Russell Wilson wants to be the highest paid player in the NFL. And right now, I think the going market, the fair market value for what he should get paid is approximately $34-35 million a year, which would essentially make him, depending on the guarantees and all that, would make him like the highest paid player in the NFL. So part of it is the Seahawks obviously have a number they want to pay, and Russell Wilson has a number that he's willing to accept, and we won't know what that is, but we'll know whether it's acceptable to both. So what do you think Russell Wilson should get paid? If it's not the highest paid, based on $35 million a year, what should Russell Wilson get paid, in your opinion, Packers fan? And you have Aaron Rodgers as a guideline. So, Aaron Rodgers is already making upwards of $30 million. I think he was the first one to break the $30 million a year bank. So, is Russell Wilson not of the caliber of Aaron Rodgers of your Packers?
I think he should get paid at least 32, 33 in that area.
Oh, so you want to take the highest number and go like $1 million below that. So basically, if you're GM John Schneider,
$1 or $2 million below.
You'd say, Russell, we're going to give you an extension, but we're not going to make you the highest paid. We're going to make you like the second highest paid, essentially is what you're saying.
Because Russell Wilson I think Russell Wilson is younger than Aaron Rodgers and has more left in the tank than Aaron Rodgers.
I believe that's true by a few years. That's a good point. So pay more. So he should get paid more than Aaron Rodgers, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fair enough. I agree with you. And, well, we'll see. Aaron Rodgers, ever since he's got paid, I don't know how many Lombardi trophies he's won since then. So there's kind of the other side of the coin. You pay the bank to keep this guy happy, but then what happens to the rest of the team? That's for another discussion. But, all right. Well, thanks for the call. I appreciate it, Lucas. Good luck with your Packers this coming season. All right. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Bye.
All right, take it easy. All right, let's go to Bennett over in Colorado. Bennett, what's going on? You're on with NorbCam Live.
Hey, how's it going, Norb?
It's going pretty good. How are you?
Good. About Russell Wilson, obviously the Seahawks know what they're doing as a team, so given that information, it's obvious they'll extend Russell Wilson by April 15th. And if anything, they'll just appease to what he wants. Because why would you throw away, your best quarterback in your franchise history just for, a couple I say a couple dollars. It's a lot of money, but
a couple $1 million a year, basically.
Yeah.
So in other words, you're saying pay him whatever he wants, essentially, given whatever little negotiations they have to do.
Yeah.
But do whatever it takes.
I'm sure he'll be reasonable, but like, they should come to a decision, no matter like, they should definitely come to a decision, whatever that would mean.
Right. I'm with you. What do you say to those people who say, well, he needs to be more like Tom Brady and take less money so that the team can be better? He's got a wife who makes a lot of money herself, and they're not hurting for cash right now. So why be selfish and go for everything and rob your team of the ability to be competitive? Well, what do you say to those people? You seem to have a relatively rational mind. How would you answer that question?
Well, I would partially agree with that because it is true in the sense that they're not struggling in money. They're doing fine whether Russell Wilson makes a couple extra $1 million or not. It's just the extra money could just help them in the long run whenever Wilson isn't making money anymore. It'll just beef up his income as a retired football player and up his chances of, commercials, such and things. Just being paid more gets you more street cred, I guess you could say. But at the same time, as far as I know, what I've seen on interviews, Russell Wilson seems to be a pretty caring person. So I would see him letting that extra little bit of money go so that his team members could also be, like, they're obviously going to be well off no matter what, but just them make a little bit extra money and him make maybe even a little bit extra as well.
Right. So, I agree with you. We don't know what happens. All these players have an agent. And Mark Rogers, I believe, is his agent, who comes from the baseball side of things. But, the agent's going to fight to get him as much money as possible because obviously the more he makes, the more the agent makes. And, but ultimately, Wilson is going to tell his agent, this is what I want you to do. I want you to, don't take anything lower than this, but I will take it. If they offer me this, we'll take it. So somewhere there's a number in there. That's probably what Wilson wants, ideally in a perfect world, and here's probably what he's willing to go as low as. And hopefully it's that somewhere in between, maybe 33, 34. There's a little number in there. We can get creative with the bonus, signing bonus and incentives and all that stuff, just to make it so he can make a little bit more, but, make the salary cap a little bit manageable, that sort of thing. So I'm optimistic that they can find that magic number in there. But, I agree.
And about Michael Bennett, I wanted to bring that up for a second. I actually had Michael Bennett's jersey because, his last name is Bennett. So it was perfect.
Yeah. Right. That's cool. So you were instantly a Michael Bennett fan because of the fact that you share the same name?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the bummer? You said there's a bummer to this.
Well, the bummer part about it is, he's a Patriot now. How am I supposed to wear a Patriot? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you don't have to wear a Patriot. You don't have to buy his Patriot jersey. You can still wear the Seahawks one and rep him.
Wear the jersey, but
yeah, I would be the same way. I'd wear the jersey that you got, the Seahawks. That way, you're still kind of, supporting him, but you're not supporting the Patriots. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't buy the jersey of some other,
no way,
some other team that I personally can't stand. So. Yeah, I'm with you. Problem solved right there. Just keep wearing the one that you got. People do it all the time. It's kind of cool. All right. Well, the phone lines are starting to pile up here, so I'm going to take some other calls. But as always, thanks for your input. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Take care. All right. A lot of numbers here with names I do not have on here, so we'll just go down the list in order. So I'm going to go to the 864. What's up? You're on with NorbCam. Who's this?
Hello.
Yes, you're with Norb. You're on with NorbCam. Who are you? And where are you calling from?
My name's Braden. I'm from South Carolina.
From South Carolina. And are you a Seahawks fan?
Yeah. So,
All right. All right, Braden. What's on your mind, man?
I was wondering to ask, do you think the Seahawks are going to try to go for Trevor Lawrence from Clemson in the next 2 years? They don't sign Russell Wilson?
I'm not super familiar with him, but maybe you sound like you are. When is he available? When do you think he's going to be available in the draft? You're saying 2 years?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So you're saying if they decide not to extend Russell and they start looking for their next quarterback, you're saying what's his name again?
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. That this guy, in your opinion, could be that guy.
Yeah.
I got to do some research on that. But why don't you tell me? It sounds like you know something about him. What do you like about Trevor Lawrence that the Seahawks fans should be aware of?
Well, I mean, he plays for Clemson, saying they just won a national championship, saying he's had some good stats, this season.
Yeah. And
a lot of people say they're after him, but mostly not a lot of people, because this year next year they're trying to go for the Alabama quarterback.
Mm-hmm. What's his style? Is he how do you describe him? Is he one of those your prototypical tall quarterback who sits in the pocket, or is he one of the mobile types?
He can be like mobile and he can stay in the pocket. He's like 6'4".
That's a tall guy, mobile guy for a tall guy, huh? All right. Well, I guess we'll have to eyeball. Unless he decides to go to the draft early, he could potentially leave early and be available next year, you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to keep our eye on that. Obviously, Alabama, this guy, I forgot his name, they have a pretty good quarterback over there. And these are great teams, always contending for national championships. So we'll obviously have to keep an eye on that, potentially next year or maybe in 2. So I'm thinking that they won't have to have this conversation, because I think Seattle will take care of Russell Wilson. That's my optimistic side. We know he's going to be there for 2019 no matter what, because he's under contract. Unless Russell Wilson were to pull the complete shocker and sit and hold out, I don't see that happening. He says already that he's going to show up on the 15th for OTAs no matter what happens with this contract situation. So I think he'll be around. He's definitely going to be around for this year and for next. It's really then a question of, are we talking about extending and giving a contract for 3 to 4 of a whopper contract, or doing the year-by-year type game? So we shall find out. But anyway, thanks for the heads up. We'll keep an eye on that and see what happens.
No problem, sir. Thank you for letting me call you.
You bet. Thanks for your input, man. Call anytime. We appreciate it. All right, we can go to some other calls. Let's go to the 919. What's up? You're on with NorbCam. Who's this? And where are you calling from? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, you're on with NorbCam. Who's this?
Is this me?
You are on. What's your name, man?
I'm sorry. I was confused. My name is Junior.
Junior, all right. And where are you calling from?
North Carolina.
Okay. Seahawks fan?
No.
No? Who are you a fan of? Who's your team?
I don't want to say this, but I'm a Patriots fan.
A Patriot fan. That's all right. We have fans from all walks of life on this show. What's on your mind?
I don't know. I think they should wait for next year's draft and not re-sign Russell Wilson.
Yeah, why's that?
They have Tua Tagovailoa is going to be on next year's draft, and Alabama quarterback. He's really fast and play exactly like Russell Wilson. Can throw in the back pocket, can run on his own. Kind of like Russell Wilson.
Yeah. The problem is, and this is just kind of my prediction on how the season's going to go, is that I mean, unless we finish the season, completely blow it and go like 2-14 and end up with like the number 1 or number 2 spot in the draft. I don't know if we're going to have it. Even if we did have that all play out, I don't see how we're going to have a shot at getting this guy. I mean, unless we trade the farm to do it. But which I guess is possible. Maybe they trade, in a crazy scenario, they could work a deal and trade Russell Wilson and package him up in some kind of strategic big picture plan to get a guy like that. But I don't know. That's that question is, is someone like that quarterback you're referring to, could he be just as good as Russell Wilson? Could he be like the Patrick Mahomes type where he could be just as good as, or maybe even better potentially? Or do you trust the body of work that he's done in his first 7 seasons, who's, to me, has already proven himself that he not only has the physical skills, but he has the mental skills as well as character. That to me, that's like, to let go of something for sure, for something that could be, you never know. Guys can play great in college and they show up in the NFL and it's a whole different story. So it's a big risk. But I feel like the Seahawks got the jackpot when they got Russell Wilson in the 3rd round back in 2012. And, he hasn't let us down, in my opinion, yet. So I hate to let something like that go, thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. It's a big chance to take.
If they were to keep Russell Wilson, I would give him like the weapons, fix the offensive line and the draft, and get some receivers. Because that's what he's missing.
Yeah. I'm with you. As far as my needs that I think the Seahawks have, I think outside pass rushers on the top there. Receiver definitely number 2, and then another offensive lineman. That's kind of I'd say in order of what I'm looking for in the draft myself.
In my opinion, they should draft up and get DK Metcalf. He could play like Calvin Johnson, 6'2". Broke the record for the highest in the 40-yard dash. I think we should trade up and get him for Russell Wilson, and they can sign him next season.
He is a big receiver like Johnson was?
Yeah, kind of like Calvin Johnson.
Mm-hmm. But he's fast too, huh?
Mm-hmm. He has good hands.
Yep. Is he expected to go in the 1st round?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't see. Well, first of all, I don't see the Seahawks drafting in the 1st round. Period. I think they're going to trade out and try to get more picks since they have only 4 picks this year. But I certainly don't see them drafting to get a receiver in the 1st round. I mean, if they're going to take anybody, it might be one of these pass rushers. I think that might be the exception to any of the players that are going to be out there in the 1st round. But I still don't see them doing it. I think this is going to be such a pass rusher and defensive line rich draft that I just see them, bouncing down and getting a few more guys in the 2nd and 3rd and the 4th and 5th. So anyway, that's my thought.
I mean, he's projected to go to mid or late 1st round, so maybe they could get him.
Well, it's possible. They could maybe, turn their 1st round pick into a late 1st round or something, and who knows? Maybe the guy will still be there. But yeah, that'll be the fun of it. We'll take a look. I appreciate it.
Maybe rebuild the Legion of Doom again. Back to the way it was.
Yeah.
Maybe rebuild that.
Yep, the Legion of Boom. Yep, they're starting from scratch here. Now that Earl Thomas is gone, went to the Baltimore Ravens. It's all new faces in there. But we got a couple of guys. I think Shaquille Griffin is, he's still got some work to improve on, but he's been solid. And Trey Flowers had a good first year, so we got to see. I'm not crazy about our safety situation. I still think the Earl Thomas loss is going to be some big shoes to fill. So, Hey, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. Good luck this season.
All right, you too.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's go to the 641. Hey,
Hello?
you're on with NorbCam. Who's this?
This is Grayson from Iowa.
Grayson. Wow, I'm getting a lot of calls from all over the country. Grayson from Iowa. And are you a Seahawks fan?
Yes, I have been for the past year.
Okay, for the past year. So you're a Johnny-come-lately Seahawks fan.
Yep.
All right. And I'm just curious, what brought you to become a Seahawks fan just recently? Were you a fan of another team, or are you just new to football?
I was new to football. I liked the Dolphins because of their design, but then my cousin had a Seattle birthday party. He showed me some of the players, and I started to like that the most.
Oh, that's cool. You say it's your brother?
Mm-hmm. No, cousin.
Your cousin. All right, cool. Your cousin.
Yeah.
Cousin owes you. Your cousin some thanks for turning you into a Seahawks fan. All right. So what's on your mind?
I think they should pay him because if they don't, like, where else is he gonna go, to another team? Like,
oh, well, yeah, he's basically got the world as his oyster at this point if he decides to go somewhere else. Well, the options would be this: Seahawks either, I hope they get a long-term extension signed. If not, the next option is the Seahawks aren't just going to let him go. They're going to try to keep him going with hopes of getting a deal done at some point. But then they could franchise tag him and keep him here for another year, even two. I can't remember if they can do 3 franchise tags in a row, but they could pay him. They could do that and just go year to year. But that gets very expensive, and it's only 1 year at a time. So they could do that. Or if they really did think about trading him, they could wheel and deal during the draft. They could do different options to basically, trade with another team to get first-round draft picks for it, or exchange of players or whatever. So, yeah, so there is some, right now the Seahawks have 1 year of control left on his contract. So for 2019, he is a Seattle Seahawk no matter what. I mean, unless he decides to sit out, which I don't think he will. So, he's going to play for the Seahawks this year. It's really, we're talking about what's going to happen to him in 2020. That's the big question long term. What's he going to do? And, obviously the Seahawks hopefully will keep him here to at least an additional 3 or 4 year contract. That would be the long-term solution. So, yeah. I don't want to see him in another uniform. That would just break my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, who's your favorite player on the Seahawks?
Him, Derek Carter.
Who?
Him. I forgot his name.
Your favorite player on the Seahawks? You forgot his name?
Yeah, the guy that you're talking about. I haven't seen a football game in a while.
Okay, that's all right. Your first year guy, that's cool. I'll let you. You got bone up on your roster a little bit, and we will, watch them close this year because I think we're gonna do some good things. That's just my optimistic feeling. It's gonna be a good year, I think. All right. Well, thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you jumping on and seeing the light and becoming part of the 12 Nation. All right. You take care, man.
Yeah.
Go Hawks.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the 317. What's up? Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hello.
I am calling from Indianapolis, Indiana.
And what is your name?
Thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure. And what is your name?
Sharon.
Sharon from Indy. I don't get a lot of female callers, so it's always appreciated.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? So Sharon from Indianapolis, are you a Seahawks fan?
I am a Seahawks fan.
Okay,
I wasn't
all right.
more of a Russell Wilson fan, but I'm a Seahawks fan.
Okay, all right. Well, at first, I'm just curious. Since I don't get a lot of female callers, what brought you to this? What got you to even come here and call in?
Well, I always watch your show on YouTube.
Oh, you're a fan of mine.
Your videos and things like that. Yeah. So.
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
I've been following you for a little over a year now, maybe a couple of years now.
Oh.
So,
well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
So I always listen. Yeah, and I subscribe to your channel. So every time you put a video on, I get it and I watch it. So I said, I'm one of these times I'm going to call in.
Okay, so you've heard these call-in shows before. You decided tonight was the night. And what made you decide I'm calling tonight?
Well, I didn't. First of all, in the past, I didn't think that I would ever get in. So I said I'm not going to call because I'll never get in. He gets too many callers. And with all this hoopla going on about Russell Wilson's contract, I said I'm gonna call in tonight.
Okay.
See if I can get my call answered tonight.
Okay.
So,
Well, your call is answered, and I want to hear what you have to say. So, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm going to start with the question. The question is, should the Hawks make Wilson the top paid player? My answer to that question is yes. He should be the top paid player. We know it's only going to last for so long before the next quarterback gets contracts gets renewed.
That's right.
But I think that for what Russell has done from the time he's been there on the team, he has most definitely earned it. One, he came in on one of the lowest paying rookie contracts for 4 years, I think it was, and he won the Super Bowl, went to 2 Super Bowls and won one.
That's right.
So I think he's and he is definitely a top 3 quarterback in my opinion, and several other analysts think the same thing in the league. He's been improving every year. He most definitely deserves to be the top paid quarterback. I mean, why would they think of not making him? Now I know there's big talk about him taking a little lower so that they can put the best team around him. They've had he's been in the league 7 years. They've had all that time to do that, and they haven't done it, which makes you think if he takes lower pay that they're going to try to put the top pay. That's not Pete Carroll and John Snyder's way to get the top paid or top players. They always go for lower in the draft, third round, fourth round, and build those players up to make them the best. But that's their way. They're not into paying top paid money to a bunch of players. So I feel like Russell's earned it for how he's grown. He's a great leader. He's shown that. Absolutely has great character and integrity, and I think he should be paid for that. It's that as well. He's made sure that he showed the best face for that franchise. So I think that he should be paid. It should be compensated for that. And then the last thing I want to say is, if they don't do that, if they don't pay him or make him the top paid or close to the top paid player, I think he should consider going to play elsewhere. I think it's only fair.
Oh, well said. And I agree with you wholeheartedly on every point there. You've become one of my favorite callers I've ever had on the show, Sharon. Mostly because you agree with me.
YouTuber, so thank you for saying that.
I mean, since you do agree with me, that kind of helps, But no, you're very,
right, exactly.
very articulate.
I got in on that.
Very articulate. Your points are very well stated, and I mean, bottom line is, if the Seahawks aren't going to pay him, somebody else will, and.
Exactly.
If Russell's not the top paid guy this year, next year somebody else will be. Whether it's Patrick Mahomes, Carson Wentz, or whatever, someone's going to get that. It's like a conveyor belt. The conveyor belt going by, there's always going to be that next more expensive player. And it's like, well, you're not going to stop it. It's just going to keep going up and up and up. So it's a question of, do you believe in Russell Wilson, and do you believe in what his worth is? And I think there's no question. It blows my mind how many people say, that I get tweets and Facebook messages saying, yeah, they should trade Russell Wilson. He's not good anymore. Or, he's lost his edge. I'm just like, what show have you been watching?
Right. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and then you look at the statistics. I mean, he breaks these performance records and numbers in fewer opportunities, which means he's I know in a running offense he makes the most of less opportunities and yet has more stats to back it up, which means you got to be really good. It's like if you have 50 times to shoot a bullseye with an arrow and you're not good, you'll hit it a few times. But Russell Wilson can hit that bullseye in a lot fewer attempts, and that's what makes him special.
Exactly.
So
and this is look at the stats for this past year. He had fewer attempts because, we ran the ball mostly this past season. He had fewer attempts, and he had just as many touchdowns as he had in past years. He had 35 touchdowns and only, what was it, 4 interceptions or something like that, or 5, 6, really, really low number of interceptions. So I don't know where these people are coming from, and he's one of the best deep ball throwers in the league. We can just go on and on and on with his, and he's breaking breaking a lot of records. We can just go on and on.
We just need to, Sharon. We just need to do a show where it's the let's blow up Russell Wilson and blow up his ego show for 1 hour. We'll just talk about how great Russell Wilson is for 60 minutes and just talk about that till we're blue in the face. But yeah, no, I'm totally with you. You know, and I think we could have won that Dallas Cowboys playoff game if they actually let Russell Wilson.
I was just thinking the same thing.
I mean, a lot of people believe that.
If they would have started throwing when they saw the running game wasn't working. I'm just sitting here looking at my TV, yelling at TV, start throwing the ball. Yeah,
everybody.
We would have won that game, hands down.
Because when he did, he was money. He was making passes and getting yards down the field. Yeah. It was just like too little, too late. But anyway, so I'm preaching to the choir. We're preaching to each other's choir right here. But I agree with you. But I'm glad you called. I'm glad you called, and I hope you'll call again because you have some great insight and you've got a great personality. So
well, you do too, and I appreciate you. Thank you for all the wonderful videos that you do. I usually watch them all. So thank you for having a great channel, and thank you for taking my call.
Well, hey, before you leave, I was going to say you live in Indianapolis, right? So, it just so happens, speaking of Indianapolis, my family is going there at the end of June because my daughter, who I might have stick on here, in a few minutes, we're going there for the big Nationals volleyball tournament at the end of June. So we will be visiting your beautiful city in a few months. So I'm looking forward to being in Indy for the first time. So just FYI.
I hope I get to meet you and shake your hand.
Well, I will tell you where I'll be, and I can message you or whatever, and who knows? Maybe in a perfect world we can end up meeting in Indianapolis. That'd be a hell of a lot of fun.
That'd be great. I would love to see your daughter. I hope they win the whole thing too.
Well, that would be amazing, but it'll be fun regardless. All right, Sharon, thank you so much. I hope to talk to you again soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Go Hawks.
Good night.
All right, that was great, Sharon. You're awesome. Okay, let's go to the 562. Let's see if we can top that caller. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, okay. I'm calling from California.
And who's this?
My name is Sharon.
Wait a minute. Sharon?
No, seriously. I just thought in my head, like, it would be funny if they picked my call up. And my name is Sharon. Yes, my name is Sharon from California.
So I talked to wait a minute. I just talked to Sharon in Indianapolis, and I just talked about how
I was listening to the whole conversation.
You got to be kidding me! And I get so few female callers. So the time I get back-to-back female callers, you guys practically have the same name.
I was listening to it. It was a great conversation, and I was like, wow.
And I was going, let's see if you can top this.
Informative.
I thought you were messing with me. I thought you were calling me back on another line or something. But wow, okay.
No,
so
no. My name is Sharon. I'm in California.
Sharon in Indianapolis, Sharon in California. All right.
Yes, and I'm a Seahawks fan.
All right. All right. Well, talk to me. What's on your mind?
I also watch your videos as well. I also watch your videos.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Woo!
But piggybacking on what she said a lot of things that I feel myself, as far as should they pay him. Most definitely, he's deserving of making the money. He's deserving of that pay. For one, I believe he's the first quarterback to bring them the Super Bowl, when they went to 2 Super Bowls with Russell Wilson. And it's just, I don't see Russell Wilson is able to do so many things. I feel as though, they should pay him. They should extend him. I can't see the Seahawks without him right now, to be honest. And also to piggyback on what you said about the Cowboys, I watched that game, and I remember saying that game was so winnable for us. And the thing of it is as soon as they put Russell in, you see it. I believe the score was 22-20, but it was too late. They waited too late to make the decision to put him in, so that lets you know just how good he is. Yeah. They didn't give. I think we ran the ball a little bit too much, and I just don't understand, even to this day, why Pete Carroll didn't override Brian, if that was his call, to say no, the running game is not working. Let's try something else. But anyway. But I think he's very. Yes. Okay. Go ahead.
I just say, the irony about that, I had to laugh because I was watching the game at Emerald Downs where I have my away viewing parties. We had a lot of people in there. We were all saying the same thing. Why don't you throw the ball? And yet, the irony of it is when we look back at Super Bowl 49, what was the thing that everybody said about that game? Why didn't we run the ball? Yeah. Right? So,
but the thing of it is, we went into the first half and into the second where adjustment. Yeah. There was more than time enough to make an adjustment when you saw that the running game just was not working from the beginning. That was my thing from the beginning, and so we never adjusted. It was like we was trying to force the running game, and normally, when somebody takes out, the running game, you would just start passing. Right. But it was almost like they were persistent that, no, we're going to run it, and it didn't work. And that lost us, to me, that was poor coaching decision that lost that playoff game, and they put Russell in at the last minute. It was too late, but back to I feel like he deserves an extension, and it's not players' fault that teams have budgets. It's not their fault because everybody wants to get paid, and I think that we don't really pay our receivers that much money, and Seattle has been known to, they go into the low draft, and that's how they get their picks, and they develop them. So I don't see why they can't pay him the top pay, and as you mentioned, because every year is going to continue to go up. Right. And I don't think that Russell should have to, cut himself short of getting paid, to make the team better around him. Because actually, if you look at how Pete Carroll and Snyder work, they don't really pay people that much, no way.
Yeah.
And so, but I think they should extend him. He's well deserving of it. And even, I think a lot of hype had been on for some time, the LOB.
Yeah.
But I watched the year before Russell came on. They had mostly all the same players. Mm-hmm. They didn't go to no Super Bowl. I don't even know if they made the playoffs.
No, they didn't. In 2011, they did not make the playoffs. They were not very good.
Didn't. And I feel like, everybody was so stuck on the LOB. Yes, we had good defense, but people are really, really underestimating how good Russell is, And so, yes, I hope we extend him and give him everything he's deserving of. And I hope they don't put the franchise tag on him, because I would think that would be kind of unfair.
It's
like
kind of insulting.
Given that, yes, it's insulting. He's taken you to 2 Super Bowls. Come on. Yeah. And I think that, it's a respectful thing to go ahead on and, give him. He's never been missed a game. I mean, that's all of that counts, and it says a lot.
He's never missed. He's never missed a play.
They miss games.
Yeah,
exactly. Most quarterbacks, they've gotten injured, and I hear a lot of people saying that he should take a cut. He's being greedy. Well, Aaron Rodgers ain't taking no cut. He's been in the league longer than Russell.
Oh yeah,
and they keep extending him. So why should Russell Wilson take a cut?
Hey, look at what's his name? Kirk Cousins. I keep bringing up Kirk Cousins because he played that. He played the game really well. Did the franchise tag thing, kept raising his salary, and he finally the stupid Minnesota Vikings paid him $84 million guaranteed for 3 years. One of the dumbest things I've ever seen, and he sucks.
Exactly.
He's terrible.
Exactly.
And and they paid him a whole buttload of money.
A whole lot. If Russell plays so good under pressure, I mean, he's so poised, and to have a quarterback like that, I mean, it's like they need to figure something out. And I don't blame him for giving him a deadline. Yeah. He's worthy of it. And not only that, I just feel as though Russell don't want to be distracted. He'd rather go ahead on and move on and do what needs to be done. Because he already said that he's not going to hold out, and also I believe it was, I've heard people talk about him being the highest paid, but like I said, it's going to keep going higher, and he's deserving of it. He really is.
He would only be the top paid. He'd be the highest paid player at the moment, and then that would change a year from now, and then the year from that, someone else would get it. So it's like, you just got to do it. I think there's no question. I mean, he's the face of the franchise, and he should be a one-team, one-player, retire, play his career as a Seahawk and retire as a Seahawk.
I agree.
Hopefully with 3 or 4 Super Bowls.
Because this quarterback is the only quarterback. He brought you Super Bowl win. Come on.
Yeah.
You know, and really I love it how Russell always refers to, I've been fortunate and I've been blessed to go to 2 Super Bowls. You know, where some people, they can't, you know, I know Richard Sherman, he was good, but I'm really glad that they moved some of the toxic, you know, stuff out, you know, because it's, you know, it allows them to be able to move forward, you know, and I think, you know, it's just, you know, we proved last year how good we were. I don't think no one knew how good we could be without, you know, all the good players that were released, but you know, so I think we're going to do some good things. They need to extend him and see what we can do here. But he's most definitely deserving of it. You know, like I said, respect-wise, I feel like he should retire a Seahawk.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
because like I said, what he's brought to the franchise, no other player has brought. You know, and so
totally agree. I'm with you.
I was like, oh, am I really up next? That was so funny. I said her name was Sharon, and I had the thought. I said, if they pick up this line and I tell them my name is Sharon, women, we know our game too. I watched it. And like I said, I even thought we could have won more games, but I'm praying that the coaching decisions that they have to get better at that, because to be honest, some games we lost because of bad decision making.
I agree.
You know,
I agree. Super Bowl 49.
By the coaches.
Yep, Super Bowl 49 was one of them, obviously.
Making by the coaches. That Rams game, when Pete Carroll did not, when he called that timeout and gave the other guy a chance to change the play and put him on the field, we lost that game. It was so many games we could have won, you know, and so, you know, I hope everything goes well this year, and I believe, you know, we can go very far, but they need to go ahead on and extend him.
Yeah.
You know, and that's your number one player. You need to extend him. You know, and not only that, like I said, don't disrespect him by putting a franchise tag on him. I believe that would be very disrespectful, considering everything that he's done for the team. You know. Yeah. So.
Yep, I totally agree. I'm glad to have your support as well on this. So hopefully the Seahawks do what we're all hoping that he'll do, and they'll get it worked out. So, all right. Well, thanks, Sharon. I appreciate it. Great call as well. I hope you call more often. Yeah, call again, please.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Go Hawks.
All right. Bye-bye.
That was awesome. Okay. I see Kathleen has been telling me she's going to call. You just need to call right now and just be on the queue. You don't have to call like right after somebody else calls. Just call and I'll have you on hold in here. I can see all the numbers that are standing by. So Kathleen will be getting in here soon because I'm going to have to jump off relatively soon here. Got to pick up my girl from practice. Let me get to the 253. Yo, what's up? Who's this?
How you doing, Norb? It's Cody Marmon from Bonnie Lake.
Oh yeah, what's up? You've called before, right? Or have you?
Yeah, I've called. I've called a handful of times before.
Okay, say your name again one more time.
Cody Marmon.
Cody. Yeah. Okay. What's up? What's on your mind?
All right. So this entire Russell Wilson situation.
Yeah.
He's playing it super smart. Personally, I think just because. I mean, look what he's done during his tenure here. So obviously, I feel like he holds all the cards right now, and just from like you look at Aaron Rodgers' contract, I think he's getting like 33, or it's 30 million, I think.
Yeah, just under 30
annually.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 30. But you look at the quarterbacks that have to get paid next year: Carson Wentz, Patrick Mahomes. Yep. So I think, and right now, I think Garoppolo's getting paid like 20. I think it's 27.5 or 28.5.
Yeah, and he hasn't done jack.
Obviously, yeah, it's a lot. But obviously, I think Russ is in the north of 30 million that he'll get, and then Wentz or Mahomes or both of them will break that next year. But I think he'll be the top paid quarterback as long as they get a long-term deal figured out.
Yeah. So you are that he needs. You agree he has to get paid when he needs to get paid.
Yeah, and also I think the reason why he's saying April 15th is because that's when I think it's the mandatory minicamp starting. So you want to go.
I think it's the OTA. I think it's just off. the OTAs, the organized team activities, which are technically
the,
voluntary, but
the
Russell never misses those things. So
yeah, but it's smart for him to set a deadline right there, because then if you have that long-term deal already figured out and everything, there's not going to be any concerns from the media and asking every single day, right? All right, where's the, like just all those rumors and the possibility of him being traded to New York or whatever, especially because April 15th is, I think, 10 days before the draft, so then you'd have the possible draft talk trades if the deal isn't done by then.
Yeah, I think it's smart to make it, it's good for the Seahawks to get it done sooner too, so there's just no question, but
exactly.
That's just one of those things. It's a game, it's a game, and of course, they've got to work with the budgets of the salary cap management, so they got their, I'm sure they could just, like in baseball, if you just have the money, you just pay whatever you got to pay, but it doesn't work that way in the football, obviously. So they still got to figure out how they're gonna pay for Bobby Wagner and these guys coming up as well. So
and Clark.
Yep, Frank Clark. Well, they franchised tagged Clark, but they're looking, I'm sure, beyond this year as well, what they got to do. So anyway, yeah, all right, man. Well, thanks for the call. Appreciate it always, man, and I'm with you.
All righty.
All right.
Call. Appreciate it.
All right, no problem. Go Hawks. All right, let's go to at least one more here. Kathleen, I see that you say you're going to call, but I haven't seen that number pop up that you were talking about, but I'm going to take this one right here from the 646. Hello, who's this, or where are you calling from? You're on with NorbCam.
NorbCam, it's Gangrene David in the house. It's been a while.
Hey, how come your number didn't come up as Gangrene? I didn't recognize it. Did you change your number or something, or is it the same number?
It's the same number.
Huh. So maybe my software's acting up. What's up, man?
Nothing much, man. It's been a fun off season.
It has been, yeah.
Especially for us. I mean, we have Le'Veon Bell. We have DJ Mosley. We have a franchise quarterback. We have a new coach. And we have new uniforms coming out tomorrow night.
Oh, you do?
It can't get any better.
It's funny. Every year, I hear this tone in your voice at the start of the year. Maybe it's the first game, like it was last year, the first game, or after the draft. But I like to hear the happy, positive David, because the season's never usually ended well for you. But I agree, you got a lot of pieces landing in place now with, like you said, Mosley and the Le'Veon Bell sweepstakes, where he was going to end up. He did go to you guys after all. So now you got a quarterback. Now you've got a running back. You got a lot of pieces coming your way, and now you got new uniforms. Yeah, you're right. A lot of things to be optimistic about.
We have a new coach.
The coach. Finally got rid of the coach that you've been wanting so bad to get rid of. So really, there's no excuse, man. You guys should knock the Patriots off this year, right? Come on, man.
We still got a lot. We got a long. We still have holes that we need to fill. We still need a center. We still need a pass rusher, We have to see how this new veteran coaching staff that we hired can really play into effect. But since, of course, your little topic is, of course, Russell Wilson, that's the main topic, and I've been pretty much just hearing all about it. You guys need to pay him, obviously. He's your franchise quarterback, and he's grown to become a great veteran leader. You see the way he's on that football field. He's extending the plays as efficiently as he can. You even see the way he can even do it when he's running for his life back there, and he's still finding ways to make plays. And not to mention the fact that he was actually part of the responsibility for the development of a lot of young receivers like Tyler Lockett and David Moore, and he was also working with guys like Doug Baldwin. And, of course, the running back core was on and off. The offensive line was on and off as well. And the guy is still giving 100% out there on that football field, which is what you want in a quarterback. You want the most important part of your football team to remain on your franchise, especially since you look at last year, yous were quote unquote rebuilding, but you guys were still having your quarterback, and that quarterback is obviously the one in the driver's seat. He's controlling the offense, and Russell Wilson does just that. Whether it's calling the plays or calling audibles, his motto, one game at a time, one play at a time, whatever the case may be. You got to look at it in this perspective.
Right.
a multi-year Pro Bowler, a former Super Bowl winner. You know, obviously the guy has grown to become your franchise quarterback, and like people are saying, trade him. Like, unless you're giving me a king's ransom for Russell Wilson, there's no way. If I'm a Seahawks fan, I'm trading him, because obviously Seahawks fans have grown to love him for the last 7 years, and you know he is going to want money, but he's going to want to get paid. But hey, that's the quarterback market nowadays. The quarterback market is increasing, and Russell Wilson has to earn his contract, and I think that's exactly what he's done.
Well, and I agree with you there, but just to play devil's advocate and to use one of the words you said, the king's ransom, some may argue that Russell Wilson wanting $35 million plus, or maybe even hitting the 40 mark, is a king's ransom. You know, what do you do if the Seahawks are willing to pay a good chunk of money, but what if Russell Wilson's agent isn't willing to take any less than a king's ransom? And so at what point is it too much? And I guess that's the big question, is the Seahawks must have a number where they go, if Russell won't take anything less than this, we're in trouble because we can't pay him any more than this.
I mean, at the end of the day, Norb, it's your franchise quarterback. I mean, if you're going to let him walk, then his production is going to be very difficult to replace.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you,
like,
man.
That's the most important. This is not a wide receiver. This is not a corner. This is not Earl Thomas. This is the most important part of your football team. And sometimes you're going to have to take a little bit of risks. I mean, if he's wanting $35-40 million a year, I mean, if you're the Seahawks GM, like, I'm not exactly sure if anybody has brought up how much you're willing to pay him. Like, if you're John Schneider, how much are you willing to pay Russell Wilson? Like, what kind of contract are you going to give him?
Right. Well, he's not going to say it, of course. Everybody's speculating, but he's not going to show his hand out in public. You know, this is all part of that whole negotiating thing. No one ever shows their cards, so we don't know what that number is. We can only guess where it's got to be. You know, you can kind of guess based on the free market, the market value, that it's somewhere in that probably low $30 million, mid 30 range.
You would give him $33 million a year?
Oh, I think I'd go as high as paying him 30. I'd make him the highest paid at $35 million. You know, of course, I don't have to worry about the salary cap and everybody else, so it's easier for me to say that. But I don't have to figure it out. So
you got to be willing to keep your own. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, he's your quarterback. At the end of the day, I mean, once we have that situation where we're going to probably have to pay Sam Darnold, and because we're optimistic, and the kid's 21 years old, and we have him on a 4-year rookie deal, and once Sam Darnold hits that point where we're going to have to pay him, you know, we're going to have to see, you know, how are we going to keep this guy? And then for sooner or later, Carson Wentz is going to fall into that category. Pat Mahomes is going to fall into that situation as well. I mean, at the end of the day, players are going to want more money. But, you know, if Russell Wilson does feel comfortable here, I mean, can he take a hometown discount? It's questionable. But at the end of the day, if I'm John Schneider, I'm keeping the most important piece to your team, especially if you're going to have young receivers, if you're going to have a young running back. You're going to want that veteran driver behind the wheel, taking control of the offense right there. You're going to want it.
Right.
Especially with his resume.
Yeah. That's why I don't think there's even a question about it. But, you know, it does get to a point where is too much when does it become too much to where you're hurting the team? And I guess that's for them to figure out. And, you know, and we see examples of teams who have paid their quarterbacks a lot of money and they haven't been able to do much after that point, i.e. the Ravens. Look at even the Packers, for that matter. You know, Aaron Rodgers has only won them one Super Bowl. And, you know, he hasn't won one since making all that money. So, you know, there's certainly arguments to be made there, but at this point in this game, you know, do we risk letting a player of his caliber go? And I say no. You got to keep him, and just got to work that magic where you're drafting low, you know, keeping the costs of other guys down, because you know that the one guy who matters the most, who you have to pay, is your quarterback, and that's just the way the business is right now. So, yeah, that is it. That is the situation, man. So, well, hey, man, I got to wrap this up because I got to get out of here. But thanks, Dave. It's good to talk to you, man. It's been a while. But we'll be talking more as the draft comes going. All right?
Yeah,
all right.
It's awesome, man. I mean, I've been trying to grow my channel for the last few months. I'm at 1,300 subways or so.
Congratulations.
Right now.
You're doing great.
Yeah, so I'm definitely growing my channel, and I got a lot of Jets content coming my way. So if you guys who are Jets fans, or you guys want to check out my channel for Jets content, or you guys just want to sub my channel, then you guys can check me out, Gang David. But make sure you give Norb some love. NorbCam, just the whole reason why my channel even started, it's just an inspiration because I've been watching this man since 2014, and just his passion and his love for the Seahawks. And inspired my channel to actually really just develop and occur. Just his hard work ethic really inspired.
Thanks, man. Hey, man, I had to cut you off there because your phone was breaking up really bad. So, but I appreciate the shout out, and check out Gangrene David. Good material there for Jets fans around the world. All right, one last call. Let's see if we can make this happen. I'm not sure if this is Kathleen or not, but one more call, and this is it from the 425. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Norb.
Yo, who's this?
Hi, this is Chase.
Chase.
I'm a new caller.
Oh, a new caller. Where are you calling from? Where do you live? You're here in Washington, right?
Yeah, Issaquah.
Issaquah. All right, cool, man. What's on your mind? You're the last caller for the night, so you got the last word.
Perfect, right on. Well, I was just thinking about the Russell Wilson situation we have going on right now. I'm thinking, obviously, in my opinion, we should re-sign him. We have a young core, a young team. I don't think signing Russell Wilson to a long-term deal would really affect us in a positive or a negative manner. Just because you see, especially with the Seahawks more than any other team, our staff is really good at finding young core players. You can see, obviously, with Cam Chancellor and Richard Sherman, those guys, it's proven. We've done it before. I'm sure we can do it again. Obviously, Pete's been out of the college game for a while, so he's not seeing as many young college players come into the league. But as far as that goes, I think we'll be fine. The main thing I was thinking about, though, is that if a trade or if a re-signing doesn't happen, the Seahawks could trade Russell Wilson for a lot. I mean, the King's ransom, like you were talking about earlier, we could get a lot from it. You see with the Odell and the Khalil Mack trade over the last 2 years, Khalil Mack, defensive end, obviously the second most important position in football other than the quarterback is the person who gets the quarterback. Khalil Mack, 2 first-round picks. You got Odell. Receivers are becoming more important with the rule changes, first-round pick and a player. Russell Wilson, most important position in the league. Obviously, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a generational talent. You can see it in this year's draft. He's affecting where Kyler Murray's going to go based on just height.
Yep.
I'm thinking, honestly, we could get 3 first-rounders, if not more. 3 first-rounders and a proven player. I mean, anything could happen, and that'd be huge for our franchise. I was just wondering what you were thinking about that, if you think that's a possibility.
Well, I guess anything's a possibility. It's a possibility I hope doesn't happen. I don't think they'll go to that. I think they would franchise tag him before they would let him just go to the to be traded, unless they really just don't see him being the future and they have some big plan where they're going, okay, if we get Russell, we can get these first rounders, we can get this guy and this guy, and as part of this alter master plan that's without Russell Wilson. And if maybe they have that backup plan in case the number that Wilson, his agent, want is so high that they just can't meet in the middle, then obviously the Seahawks would be forced to do something else if they simply can't meet that number that they're asking for. I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope they can both find a little bit of gives to where they pay a little bit more maybe, and Russell takes a little less than the top dollar that he's hoping for, and they find a nice landing spot. But yeah, if they have to go that route, well, then they better have a very good guy in place that they want to replace him with, because that's the hard part. It's just when you lose somebody like Russell Wilson, they don't come that often. Patrick Mahomes, probably one of the most exciting, dynamic quarterbacks out there, who is, could be compared to being as good as, or maybe will prove to be better than Russell Wilson. But there's not a lot of them out there. There's a lot of quarterbacks who don't amount to the same kind of player when they get to the NFL. So I hope it doesn't come to that, man. But we'll see. This draft will be very interesting.
Same here.
I hope they get it done before the 15th, and then we don't talk about this anymore. I really don't want to talk about it anymore. But if they don't, it'll be very interesting unfortunately, topics that will come up throughout the rest of the season and into next year if it doesn't get done. So we'll find out in less than 2 weeks.
For sure. But then also the date, April 15th, I mean, that's super close.
It is. It's less than 2 weeks.
That's not a good chunk of time to figure out a deal. I mean, it kind of sounds like Russ is kind of trying to really push to get this deal done, obviously. But do you think it's a little bit too quick? I mean, the Seahawks could end up just rushing into this and paying him a buttload of money and regretting it later.
This is what I heard, though, is that this wasn't something he just sprung out in the last couple of days when the news broke. He actually had made this request to have something done by the 15th back in January, from what I had heard from sources. So this is not breaking news in terms of his deadline. It's just publicly broke that he had this deadline. So it's not the way it's coming out that he just suddenly put the pressure on. He's had that out there. It's just now being out there publicly. So
okay, because the only thing I heard previously was from the Jimmy Fallon appearance.
Yeah,
and then just in the media, I've heard that he's been in talks with the Seahawks organization for the last few weeks now, but I haven't heard that before with the certain date coming out earlier. Yeah,
I just heard that today, or whatever. Well, that's true or not, the source I heard, local source on the inside talking about that situation. So anyway, I guess we'll find out. But I've got to go, brother. So thanks for calling in, though. I appreciate it, Chase. Call again anytime.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Thank you.
All right. Go Hawks. All right, guys, that's my cue to go. And there's the music tone that says we are coming to an end. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate those who blew up the chat and those of you guys who called. Kathleen, sorry I couldn't talk to you this time. Let's do it next time, all right? And to Sharon and Sharon, you guys were awesome. And I look to talking to you guys again and meeting some of you new callers who haven't gotten in here before. So make sure to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I come out with a new video. And lots of intrigue this season. It's going to be very exciting. So let's get it going. Got to take off. Thanks for watching, though. Appreciate it. And go Hawks.